Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. So today let's discuss about employee management in Odoo 14. Employee management is an aspect in every company which should be given utmost care. So there are various parameters and strategies to consider while dealing with the placement of an employee as they're in charge of provisioning them with a position to work. So for the smooth working of company, many functions should be effectively managed and monitored in a company. So let's directly go to our employees module. So here we have our employees. So after installing this module from App Store, you can see here all the created employees. So this is the Kanban view. So this is a default view where we can see an image and few details of the employee like employee name, then position, job position, then email ID, phone number, and you can also see the tags provided for the employees. And we can see whether the employee is absent, present or not by looking at this. So you can see Michelle admin is present but not active. And we also have a list view for this. Then we can plan activities, that is we can schedule activities for employees. Then you can see these employees here. We can filter employees based on company. So we can see all the employees, there is employees in all company. Then we can filter employees in the company San Francisco, and we can filter these employees according to department. So you can see there are different departments created: administration, management, professional services, research and development, sales. So you can see all the employees in each department. And it is also possible to create new department. So you can see a menu here, all the created departments. When you click on this, you can see the departments. And it is also possible to configure departments by coming under configuration. So here you can see the departments. So when you click on this, you can create a new department. That is, we can configure department and also create new department. So here we can create department designing, and we can add a parent department if you want. Then we can set a manager for this department, but it is not mandatory. So after creating department, just save it, and we can see the designing is created. You can see the manager here. So when you come to departments, you can see that department is created, and you can see here a percentage, that is number of employees absent, that is absent employees whose time of request are either confirmed or validated on today. So you can see that here. So it is 0%. And then here you can see absent employees, that is whose time of request are either confirmed or validated on today. So when you click on this, you can see that absent employees list. And here we can also manage employees directly from this departments. Like when you click on this department employees, you can see here employees, you can create employees, and you can see other departments here. So here you can see number of time of request for this department, then allocation request, time of allocation request, and we can see the number of appraisals created for each department. And you can also see the new applications for department. So when you click on this, you can see new job application. Then when you click on the three dots, you can see here a lot of options, that is reporting for expenses. So you can see the expense report analysis of this department, and then timesheet. So you can see no activities found here. Okay, let me open. So here you can see for Michelle admin, timesheet is added. So this is by default filtered by timesheet by employee. You can see. Then Here we can see the time of this department, time of analysis report. So from here we can select some measures, like it can be based on count. You can see time of analysis as duration in days or as count. Then we have a pivot view also for this. And when you go to pivot view, you can find option to insert in spreadsheet. So you can insert this report, time of analysis report to spreadsheet. So this option is available for all reports having pivot view. Okay, then we can see reporting for recruitments of this department. We can see the recruitment analysis. So here we have different measures like delay to close, expected salary, probability, proposed salary, and all. Okay, then we have attendance report. You can see the attendance analysis based on working hours or count. Then we have appraisals report. So you can see the created appraisals. We have a appraisal analysis. So this appraisal can be seen based on day, that is you can see on a particular date, then in a week, month, year. And we have different views. We have calendar, not only gan view, we have calendar view, graph view, and pivot view for this appraisal analysis. Then we can also change the color of this department from here. You can choose a color, and it is also possible to configure, can change the configuration of each department that we have seen before. Okay, so we can create departments, and it is also possible to configure job position for employees. So you can see here different job positions created, like experienced developer. You can see consultant manager, different job position, and you can see the job position created. I can see the corresponding department and a website. So when you click on create, here we can add a job position like designer, and here we can add a job position here, job description here, and here we can see a tab that is for recruitment. So here we can set the company name, website, that is to restrict publishing to a particular website, then that is this particular job position. And we can set department. So here I'm selecting department designing, and we can set job position, job location, then expected new employee, so I'm adding 5. Then we can add the recruiter of this job position, so I'm setting as initial admin. And we can see a new tab that is for appraisal when you install appraisal module, and recruitment also. When you install recruitment, you can see this tab. Okay, so appraisal, that is to evaluate the performance of employees and the company. So here you can see two sections, that is employee feedback template. So using this template, that is employees can send or tell about the performance of the company. So here you can see default template. Does my company recognize my value? What are the elements that would have the best impact on my work performance? Like this way, you can see the questions for employee feedback, for getting employee feedback, and for similarly for manager feedback. You can see manager feedback. So here we can, using this, we can evaluate the performance of employees. What are the responsibilities that the employee performs effectively? How could the employee improve? Like this way, can give suggestions, feedback about employees. Okay. Total number of applications in this for this job position. Uh, app- mm, that is total applicants. Then you can see the documents attached with this job position, and you can see tracker. Okay, and you can see this job position. And if the recruitment is over, we can just click on the stop recruitment. So this is related to recruitment in our company, and it is possible to publish this job position on your website. So when you click on go to website, we can just publish this. Okay, so you can see it is published. and you can see recruitment in progress. So job position is created, department it's configured, and we can also see activity planning. So here you can see onboarding and offboarding planning for employees. So when you open onboarding, you can see here activities. So here we can see reviewer, we can add the activity type, summary. So you can see training section is an activity type activity. So the activity type is to do, and we can set a responsible person for that activity. So when you click create, here we can set the activity type, summary, and responsible person. Okay. Then we have offboarding. Here also we can set activity summary, responsible person. Then here we can see challenges. So about we will discuss about these challenges later in this video. Before that, we have a lot of important settings. So when you go to configuration settings, here we can see employees presence control. So it is possible to set presence control like based on attendances, based on user status in system. So we can enable these options if you want. And we can also see an option for employee skill management, that is enrich employee profiles with skills and resumes. And here we can also see if option to that is advanced presence control. So presence reporting screen, email and IP address control. So we can set this based on number of emails sent, based on IP address. So here it is possible to set minimum number of mails to send. Uh, and when you enable IP address, you can also see option to add the comma separated IP address. Then we can also see a section that is for work organization. Here we can set a default working hour for your company. So you can see standard 40 hours per week for the companies set. So set default company schedule to manage your employees working time. So when you go to external link, you can see here the company name, average hour per day, time zone, then full time, that is total hours to work per week, and work time rate you can see here. And also we can add work schedule, that is we can add here shifts like name, day of the week, day period, work from time, work to, then work entry type, and we can save this. And you can also see global time off for this working schedule. So you can add the reason and the start date, end date, and working type here. Then it's also possible to add employee update rights. So here we can set allow employee to update their own data. So after enabling required options to save the settings. So let's come back to our employees. So we have seen how to configure job position department plans. Now let's create a new employee from here, directly from here. So when you click create button, you can see the form. Here we can set the employee name, and we can set job position here. So we can set job position like designer, and here we can add tags. So you can create tags and add here. Then we can set work mobile, work phone, work email, company name, then department. So I'm adding designing. And when you select the department, you can see the manager and coach is added here. You can see that here. So you can see the details of the manager, employee details. And here we can see a lot of tabs, like we can add resume details. So here we can create a new entry for a resume. and we can set a type. So this one is experience certificate, and we can set so you can see a lot more options like education certificate, internal clarification, or internal training. Okay, let me set this as education. Then we can set display type. It can be classic certification course. Then we can set the date start, and if you want we can set the date end. It is not mandatory. And we can add a description for this resume. So I'm adding education. After that you can just save it, and you can see it is added here. So here you can see a lot of options that you can delete it. You can see date, then you can see the heading description, and we can also click add to add more resume lines here. So if you want to add your experience certificate, internal certification, again you can add that. So if suppose I'm adding my experience, so you can see again it is added here. And we can also add entries for skills. So when you click on this, you can select the skill type from here, languages. So when you select languages, here we can select the language like, and we can select the skill level, and so you can see the progress here. And after that you can save and close or save and new. So when you click that, you can see one skill is added here. And again we can add the skill type like marketing, and we can see some option for the skills like communication. And again we can set skill level. So you can see according to that the percentage. You can save and close or save and new can. And if you want to add again more languages, just click on that, and again you can add languages like French. So here you can see multiple lines are added. And we have a tab for work, adding work information. So here we can set the location details like work address, work location. Then here we can see section for adding approvers. So for expense, timesheet, time off, we can add approvers. So if you leave this empty, then the administrator or approver will perform the approval. And we can set the schedule detail like working hours can be added here. So as we have set a default working hour for a company in the settings, you can see that here. And it's also possible to change from here. And we can set time zone for this employee. Then we can set planning like default planning role. Then we can add planning roles here. Then we can see private information of this employee. Set private information like private contact details, then citizenship, which includes nationality, passport number, gender, date of birth. Mm, can add date of birth, like adding minus 23. So you can see 23 years back from now. And we can set place of birth, country of birth. Then we can add marital status, then dependent, number of children, emergency details, work. So we can add emergency contact. So it will be useful later. Then work permit details. Then we can set education details for this employee like certificate level. So it's a bachelor. Then field of study, school. So these details can be added under this private information tab. And here we have HR settings, human resource settings. Here we can set related user of this employee. Then we can set job position. Then we can see registration number of employee. That is, we can add registration number of the employee. Then, so this is a part where we can add attendance details, like we can set the pin code for this Annie zone. So I'm adding pin code, and we can add badge ID. We can manually add, or we can just click generate to generate badge ID. Okay, there's an issue. There is two levels for same skills. Let me come back to my skill. Okay, this is because I've added French again. So let me change the language to English. This is because I have given two lines, created two lines for same language. Okay, now it is okay. So you can see I have generated a badge ID. So this can be used later to mark the attendance. That is, this pin code and badge ID can be used to mark attendance of this employee. Then you can see timesheet cost of the employee. So if you set a timesheet cost for your employee, so this is used to calculate the cost of a project. That is, when you're creating an invoice for customer based on timesheet cost of employee, this is taken. That is, if he spend some time on the project, so we can set 100 cost per hour for this employee. So that's all about HR settings. And after that, we can save the employee details. Then you can see the number of contracts created for the employee, then timesheet of the employee, then we can see the time of number of days, then you can see the number of equipments, then planning of employee, that is project and task planning, and we can see the last appraisal date of this employee, then number of payslip generated, and when you come under more, you can see the attendance of the employee, then last total hours last month, that is working hours last month. Then when you click on this planning, we can just add plans, like we can add task, set task for this employee. ഉം, അത്രയ്ക്കൊന്നും പോണ്ട. ഉം, മനസ്സിലായോ? Then it's also possible to set image for our employee when you edit. Then we can request appraisal for employee. So from here we can see the subject appraisal requested, and we can see by default recipient is Doris Cole, which is a manager of this department, and we can see the body of the appraisal request email. So from here we can change that, and it's possible to add attachment and send request. So we can set desired deadline. Okay, so from here we can see the appraisal details. So, and we can confirm this. So this you can see for our manager can see this appraisal request. So from here it is possible to edit and confirm. So we'll be discussing about appraisal in a different video separately. Then here we can see option for launching plan. So we can set a plan for onboarding, offboarding. So from here we can launch plan. So when you come back, here we can see our employee is created. Okay, then here comes the main part that is creating contract for employee. So you can see for Annie John we haven't created contract. So let's go to contracts and see, can see all the contracts, and in contracts are created and it is placed in different stages. So you can see new contracts, running contract, expired contract, cancelled contract. So let's create a new contract, and it is also possible to create, let us quickly add contract in a particular stage. So here we can add the contract reference, and John contract, and we can add the employee, related employee. Then can see department, job position, everything is added here. This is a new option in Odoo 14. And we can set start date of the contract, and if you want to set end date, that also can be set here. Then we can see the working schedule, we can change from here. We can set the HR responsible for this contract. Then we can add analytical account for this contract. Then we can add contact details, then salary information of this employee. So you can see wage type monthly, fixed age. This will change according to the salary structure type that you have selected. Okay, then we can also see yearly advantage if you have given. Then after that, we can save the contract. Then you can see the contract is now in new state. So if you want to generate payslip, a contract must be in running state. Then we can send signature request from here. So here we can set green color for this contract. You can see campaign state is green, and we can move this to running. You can see it is running, and when you choose our employee, so you can see contract is created and it is green color. So we can see the contract from here. So we have created employees and contracts, and here comes the part that is to configure challenges for employees. That is, we can create badges, grant badges for employees. That is, badges can be granted by anyone or managers, and we can also grant badges to employees based on some achieved goals. So here we can configure and create badges. You can see here. So you can see different badges like good job, problem solver, brilliant. Like this, we can see different badges and can see the number of badges granted, count granted, and number of granted badges granted this month. And so here, from directly from here, we can grant badges to employees. So let's open one badge. Like you can see, get started. So here, when you edit this, you can see add the badge name, and here we can set the security rules for this badge. That is, security rules to define who is allowed to manually grant badges. So we can set allowance to everyone, or we can set like, so when you choose the first option, we can see we can set the monthly limited sending. So we can set the limitation number, and we can see the my monthly sending total. And it is also possible to set allowance to, there is allowance to grant to a selected list of users. So from here we can select the authorized users, and when you choose the third option, people having some badges can uh, grant badges. So here we can set the required badges. Then you can see fourth option, that is no one is allowed to grant badge but assigned through challenges. Okay, I have selected a second option, select list of users, and we can set authorize users. So I have set mission admin, and we can set monthly limit, like can set 5. Then here below you can see the rewards for challenges. So here we can see one reward that is registered to platform, and we can add another reward from here, like mm, good answer. And below you can see the forum badge level. So here it is already set as bronze. You can change from here. And it is also possible to see the statistics of this badge. So you can see the total number of badges received, that is number of time this badge has been received, and monthly total, number of users, then my total, that is Michelin admin's total. You can see it is 1, then my month total. Okay, you can save this after adding, changing configuration, and from here directly we can grant badge. So you can set who do you like to reward, then grant badge. So you can see one granted, and when you open you can see the employee granted, and you can see it is already published. So if it is not published, you can publish on website. So coming back to badges, you can see now the granted is changed to 4, and you can see 1 this month. And from directly from this Canva, you also can grant badges. Then it's possible to create new badges from here. Then here below you can see we can configure challenges. So you can see one challenge is already configured, monthly sales target. So you can see the matching records, that is filtration is added here. We can add new value from here, and here we can set users, that is list of users participating to this challenge, and we can see the periodicity. Then display mode, can set individual goals or leadership board, that is group ranking, and we can set responsible person. Then we can add goal lines here. So you can see one goal definition is added, total invoiced condition, can see the higher the better. Then we can see the target amount, and it's also possible to add line here. Then we can see reward uh, tab here. We can set reward details. We can reward for first user. We can reward as soon as every goal is reached when you enable this. Then we can see advanced option for our challenge. We can set suggest to users. We can add users here, that is for subscribing, and we can see notification message details. We can set report frequency of sending notification, and we can set report template, and we can send a copy to we can see the option here, can set send copy to sales department, project and task, and we can also set reminders for manual goals. Then after changing, or can create and save this. So you can see this challenge is in progress, and we can refresh challenge, and we can see the related goals of this challenge. So you can see the total invoiced of for each employee. Current value can be seen here, and can see the period, that is date. Then it's also possible to configure goals history. So can that is to see the goals history. So you can see it is uh, filtered according to user goal definition. So you can see here the goal definition, and you can see the end date, start date, end date, current value, then to reach. So you can see remaining 20,000 target, and you can see the completeness of the goal in percentage. So it's also possible to export goals from here. That's how we configure our challenges. Then let's move on to our reporting. So here we have employee reporting, that is contracts. So you can see the employees analysis. Here we can select measures like contract, duration contract, and we can see different views: bar chart, line chart, pie chart, and we have below you can see here a grid view. Here it is possible to insert this report in spreadsheet. So you can see a department wise, that is you can see total employee, you can see the wage here, department, employee, new employees, and it is also possible to see. So this is a deep dashboard view, and we can see here pivot view. So it is possible to insert employee analysis report in spreadsheet. When you click on this, you can insert a spreadsheet, and we also have a graph view. Then we have reporting for employee presence, that is attendance. So you can see employees presence to define, and you can see the absent employees, present employees. So you can see the can set time of, that is time of request can be sent. Then we can send SMS, mail, and it's also possible to manually set that this employees present by clicking this tick. So you can mark this employees present. So that's about reporting, and that's all about employees management in Odoo 14. If you're interested in knowing more about this or looking for any Odoo implementation or customization in your business, drop your request to odoo@cybrosys.com.